Today in religion, we're going to still learn a little bit about Bernadette. And Mary, when she appeared to Bernadette, she was called Our Lady of Lourdes. And Lourdes is the town where she lived. So there's Bernadette. Bernadette was born in France near Lourdes, and her family was very poor. There's her little brother. The mama taught them about God. She taught them about Jesus. She taught them about Mary. She taught them to say the rosary. Look inside their house. Do you see the crucifix? And do you see the rosary hanging on it? So they were a good Catholic family. Then one day, remember, Bernadette and her friend and her sister went to collect firewood. And her friends were saying, come on, right? Come take your shoes off. While Bernadette was taking her shoes off and her stockings, she heard a sound of wind like a storm. She looked all around her, but everything was still. There was no movement in the trees. She heard the wind again and looked toward the cave. Remember the cave? You can also call it a grotto, the cave. She looked toward the cave. Then she noticed that a wild rose, which was growing below the cave, was shaking. The cave was then filled with golden light. Lifting her eyes, she saw in the opening of the grotto nearby a lady of great beauty, dressed in pure white, with a blue sash, a veil over her head, and a rosary clasped in her hands, and yellow roses at her feet. So she has a veil, which is covering her head. She's glowing. Her rosary is in her hands. She has a blue sash. She has yellow roses at her feet. Mary's purpose in appearing to Bernadette was to warn the children to pray and make sacrifices for sinners. The many miracles of body and soul performed at Lourdes are the proof that this message was a true warning from the Queen of Heaven to her children, and that she really cares about all the people on earth. Look at that. Wouldn't that be cool? This is the way Bernadette described what was happening here. I rubbed my eyes, thinking I was seeing things. So then I put my hand into the fold of my dress where my rosary was. I wanted to make the sign of the cross, but I couldn't. My hands just fell down. The lady made the sign of the cross herself, and then I was able to do it, though my hands were trembling, which is like shaking. Then I began to say the rosary while the lady let her beads slip through her fingers without moving her lips. When I finally stopped saying the Hail Mary, she vanished. So after she stopped saying her prayers, Mary disappeared. I asked my two companions, her sister and her friend, if they had noticed anything. Did you see that? But they said no. I told them that I had seen a lady wearing a nice white dress, and though I did not know who she was, I told them, don't tell anybody. They said I was silly to have anything to do with that. I told them they were wrong. I came back the next Sunday, feeling myself drawn to the place. The third time I went to the lady, she spoke to me and asked me to come every day for 15 days. I said I would. Then she said that she wanted me to tell the priest to build a chapel there. Remember, a church. She also told me to drink from the stream. I went to the cave, the only stream I could see. She pointed to the little trickle of water nearby. When I got it, I could only find a few drops of tiny water. I began to scrape, and I was able to get a little water. 3 times I threw it away, and the 4th time I was able to drink some. Then the lady vanished, and I went back home. I went back each day for 15 days, and each time, except one Monday and one Friday, the lady appeared to me and told me to look for a stream and wash in it and see that the priest build a chapel there. She appeared to her again. She asked her her name. What is your name? What is your name? Finally, with outstretched arms and eyes looking up to heaven, she told me, I am the Immaculate Conception. During the 15 days, she told me 3 secrets, but I was not to speak about them to anyone, and I never, ever have. So Mary, Our Lady of Lourdes, told Bernadette 3 secrets. And she told her, do not tell anybody. And Bernadette never did. Right? Remember, she tells the priest, and he thinks she's telling lies. And then he says to her, what's her name? And Bernadette says, she said, I am the Immaculate Conception. And then he sort of started to believe her. And then crowds of people started going to the grotto. Bernadette at school, so many people were asking her, what did you see? Why are you saying this? Nobody else sees it. And then when she was older, she became a sister. She helped the sick, right? And then she died herself of a disease called tuberculosis. And there's her body. It's still lying here in maybe France in like a special box. So cool. And there's the chapel that they built in Lourdes that Mary wanted. All right, so today we're going to be using some of our supplies. So we're going to be using this. We're going to be using this. And we're going to be using this brown piece of paper. I'm going to close the door. I hear the gardener. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to color Mary how she looked when she appeared to Bernadette. So I've got my picture there. I'm going to make my sash, which is just this part tied around her blue. It's like a belt. You can call it a sash. You can use any blue you'd like. So you can color your sash. I'm going to try to leave my rosary blank. I'm also going to make the roses on her feet yellow. Right, they were yellow. I'm gonna find my brown and I'm going to color her hair brown. Remember, she's also wearing a veil, which is like a piece of fabric going around her head. So try not to color her veil, just her hair. There's her hair. And then I'm gonna use my skin color and I'm gonna color her feet. They're poking out there. And I'm gonna color her hands. Oopsie. I'm gonna color her face and her neck. All right. Then she's kind of like glowing white. Do you see that? So I'm gonna take my white crayon and I'm gonna make her really glowing white. Let's make her glowing all around, don't you think? I think so. If you have glitter at home, you can put some glue on here and put sparkles. If we were at school, we would have put glitter on there. Okay. She looks great. Then I'm gonna take my brown piece of paper and I'm gonna be ripping it to make little pieces that we're gonna glue all around here to make it look like she's in the grotto. So ripping is a little bit tricky. You just have to, your hands are gonna go the opposite way. And I'm just gonna rip little pieces like this. This one's a little bit long, so I'm gonna rip this in half and in half again. We want lots of little pieces like that, okay? So if you wanna press pause, you can. Look how long this one is, but again, I'm gonna rip it to make it smaller. You can press pause if you want to while you're ripping, or you can wait till I'm done ripping. Then, we're gonna use our glue stick today. I'm gonna put my pieces to the side. I'm gonna use my glue stick and I'm gonna put glue right on that black line. And then I'm gonna start putting my pieces on to make it look like the grotto or the cave. You won't need to use your whole brown paper, just about, probably half of it. We'll see. Oops, covered her up. And just put glue as you go. You don't want to put too much glue and have your glue dry out before you've put anything on there, right? All right. Oh, look it, I had just enough pieces. I'm gonna break up one more. And there we have it. So there's our grotto. You can press pause if you need to. Then we have 3 flowers here, right? Do you remember what color the flowers were? They were yellow. So we're just gonna make them yellow. We're only going to be using 3 flowers today because some of the other flowers we're going to use another day for another project. Okay, so just 3 flowers today. All right. If you need to press pause, you can press pause. I'm gonna cut them out. And they're very detailed, but I'm just gonna do my best to kind of cut around the petals. Even if you just make it round, that works. See? We have 1. Oh my. 2. Remember, when you do your cutting, we haven't done a lot of cutting since we've been home. You remember our song? Open, shut, open, shut. That's the way I cut, cut, cut. Thumb on, or fingers on bottom, thumb on top. Do not let your paper drop. So you kind of turn your paper with this hand and you just keep cutting with your other hand. So after you've cut your 3 flowers, we're gonna put them down at the bottom. Oops, I'm running out of glue. I should have brought myself a glue stick. Hold on, I'm gonna get some glue. All right, I'm gonna put some glue at the bottom. I'm gonna put one here, one here, one here, and that's it. There's Mary. When she appeared to Bernadette, we call her Our Lady of Lourdes.